Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome modern house. I'm hoping that you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you do, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. But without any further ado, let me show you how to make this thing. I will be showing you how to make the house and the garden outside as well. Let's get to it. So, if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some black concrete, light grey concrete, spruce planks, birchwood slabs, birchwood fence, white stained glass pane, grey concrete, quartz stairs, and some oak leaves. Now, we do also need all of the other materials in the inventory right now. If you plan on making your own garden and stuff, then you won't need any of that. Or you might, but you don't need it to make the house. So it's up to you whether you grab it. I'd suggest grabbing everything. And once you do have absolutely everything in the inventory, we can begin. And we're going to start off with a row of 4 black concrete coming directly up from the ground. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to extend that 4th block to the right by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And connect that down to the ground. Take that 11th block and extend it coming forwards by 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take that 8th block and extend it to the right by 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Connect that 11th block down to the ground. And what we now want to do is we want to also take that 11th block and we want to extend it backwards by 25. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Connect that down to the ground like that. We now want to take this 25th block and we want to extend it coming across the back of the build like this. And we want to connect it to then the front of the build. So we want to drag it all the way across the back of the build, connect it to the front. You can even connect the corner down as well. And you'll end up with a nice shape like this. As you can see, this is a relatively large build. So once you have forged this shape right here, I think that we are going to spend some time to add some details into it because it seems like a nice place to do it. So come all the way back to where you very first started. So this is where we started, right on this front left hand corner. Well, you want to take the first block that you placed and you want to go right of it by 3 with your black concrete. That's 1, 2, 3. Then place a row of 3 white glass pane going to the right. 1, 2, 3. Place light grey concrete and then 3 white stained glass pane. 1, 2, 3. Take that black concrete and extend it towards the front of the build by 2 with the black concrete. That's 1, 2. Place a light grey, leave a gap, light grey. You then want to place 3 white stained glass pane coming forwards. That's 1, 2, 3, like this. You should find that actually corresponds with this corner block here. You can even connect it upwards if you want to check. We then want to take that 3rd glass and we want to extend it coming across the front of the build by 2, 1, 2, and then we want to do a layer of black concrete that comes all the way towards the right hand side, like this. So that is what we are looking for, just like that. We then want to come to the very right hand side of the build. So we want to come to the right side of the build. We want to come all the way to the back and we want to take this back corner. We want to take this black block and we want to, at the bottom, and we want to move towards the front of the build and we want to place 4 glass pane. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to place a light grey, 4 pane. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we want to place a light grey, 3 pane. 1, 2, 3. Then we want to place a black concrete. We want to extend that black concrete upwards. We want to move up through the build. And on top of this particular black concrete block that we placed, we want to go up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be 5, just like that. So now, once you've done that, we can extend that 5th block backwards. You want to extend it backwards and you want to connect it down to this back corner once again. So you want to have that. You want to take the block that you just extended down towards the corner of the house. You want to take this block and you want to extend it coming across the back of the build like this. Extend it coming across the back of the build and connect it down to this corner of the house. You then want to take that corner right there, the one that you just connected down to the back of the build, and you want to extend it coming forwards by 16. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You then want to extend this 16th block coming across the front of the build, and we want to be able to extend it coming across and connect it to where we first started. So this is the sort of shape that we're looking for. You see that it overhangs the front of the build by a little bit, but it pretty much connects to all of the other corners of the house. And underneath this row of black concrete, we want to place an additional row of black concrete. So add underneath it an additional row of black concrete. And once you've done this, we can begin to add some additional details going all the way around the house. So once again, don't know how many times to tell you guys this, just simply add a layer of black concrete underneath that row of concrete, just like that's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Now, next bit, we're going to completely fill the top of the first floor, or the second floor as the case may be, in with birch wood slabs or planks. It really doesn't matter which. So basically, you know how you have this bit of black concrete that pops out of the front of the house? This is where the top of the black concrete, this is where the second floor is. It is within our best interests, as it will be easier for us to build if you completely fill the second floor in with a material of your choosing. Mine, I've already chose it. It's going to be birch wood, because I think that the really light pale beach color fits very nicely with the black and gray and white. I think that it looks very nice like this. You may want to choose a different color. I wouldn't go dark. I would use perhaps quartz. I'd use perhaps white concrete, something pale. It's completely up to you, of course. I mean, even oak would look fine, but I think that in choosing a light color, it contrasts very nicely with the black, and it's completely up to you whether you guys want to, what you guys want to use, isn't it? But there you go. There's my recommendation. Birch wood seems to go very nicely with the black concrete. I'm enjoying making some different colored houses. I'm experimenting a little bit with the concrete, and honestly, I'm finding that now that the concrete's in the game, and it has been for a little while now, I guess I'm kind of late to the game with the concrete, but it's really fun to make modern houses out of it because of how smooth and how vibrant and how nice the colors are. Because you couldn't really make like a black modern house beforehand without it looking a little bit weird, because you'd have to use wool. And the same goes for any color that you now have in concrete that before you would have had to have used wool for. For instance, the grey concrete has almost entirely replaced the cyan terracotta for me and the cyan wool, or rather the grey wool. Everything's sort of changed. Is it still cyan terracotta that looks grey? I don't know. But the point of the matter is that we want to have filled in that entire surface, because now we can begin to once again add additional details. So here is where we are going to start. We're going to start off with this row of black concrete that we began the second story of the build with. So this row of black concrete here, it's like a row of 3 or 4 or so. We want to take this bottom block in this row of black concrete, and we want to extend it to the left. We want to go left of it by 2 with the glass pane. So this is going left. 1, 2. Place a light grey concrete. Leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3. Leave that gap of 3. Place a light grey concrete. Place 2 glass, 1, 2. Then 3 spruce wood, 1, 2, 3. We want to place 2 glass, 1, 2. Light grey concrete. 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to extend that 4th glass backwards by 3, 1, 2, 3. We want to place a light grey. 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. Light grey. 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is what we will end up with. It looks like this, or as a matter of fact, a bird's eye view is actually a bit more telling. So, once you've got that sorted out, this is what we are going to do next. We're going to come to the right-hand side of the build. So, on the right-hand side of the build, you can see where we have these windows below us. We're going to take all of these light grey concretes and we're going to extend them upwards like this to hit the black concrete. But we're going to extend them further upwards so that they now connect to the roof, like this. So we have 2 levels of windows. We have to fill all of these in with our white glass. So completely fill all of these spaces in with white glass, going from bottom to the top. And when I do say the top, I do mean basically literally the top of the house. All going to be filled in with our white glass, moving upwards. It's going to look great like this. So going to move all the way across and then just underneath here too, like that. Okay, fantastic. The entire back of the house has to be filled in with black concrete. So this is from the bottom to the top. Once again, these things are going to take quite a bit of time, honestly, because I mean, the house is pretty long. It is in effect like what, like 20 something blocks wide. It's like 25-ish or so blocks wide. It's about 25 or so blocks long. It's like 25-ish by 25-ish is roughly the dimensions of this house. So obviously we have to spend a little bit of time filling this in, but the time does go fast if you ramble on about how big the actual house is. So we want to have the entire back of the house filled in with black concrete. This is relevant because now it makes it easier to do the front part. So what we now want to do, right, is we want to take every single one of these glasses and light greys and etc. We want to add 2 more of each material on top. So the light greys, for instance, 1, 2, 1, 2. Spruce, 1, 2. Light grey again, 1, 2. Then spruce and the light grey. We want to add up all of the materials. We want to add 2 more rows on top. And of course, that also includes the glass, which you may find a bit harder to place if you're anything like me, and we just want to extend these. But this will not be the limitations of what we're doing. Is that... Oh, I've just done 1 row. This will not be the limitations of what we're doing, because we do also have to add some additional detail to make all of these, to make the second floor look good. And my controller's run out of battery. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to just finish filling in all of the glass, and you'll see that we have added 2 rows of glass and light grey and spruce on top of that base foundation. We now want to take every single spruce wood and we want to extend it towards the front of the build by 1 row, like this. We also want to take every spruce wood and we want to raise it up until it pokes out the top of the house by 2 rows. So that's going to be 1 row and 2 row, and we want to take each one of those and we want to extend them upwards, creating kind of like a nice feature. It splits the house in half. It kind of looks like a chimney. What we're also going to do whilst we are working on the second floor is we are going to add a row of black concrete that acts as a roof. So this row of black concrete is actually going to just be set 1 row below where the top of the house is. And I've just done a little bit of it for you. So you want to fill in completely the top part of the house, except you want to do it 1 row below. And I kind of like this because it does also then open up the option for some sort of roof garden if you wanted to. So it's kind of like nice and private, and I kind of like the idea of the roof being a little bit more depthy and being a little bit more interesting than it would be otherwise. And of course, this also fills in all sorts of gaps that we might have. It also stops any sort of rain getting in and all sorts of nefarious little critters that might want to come and destroy your Minecraft home. It's in our best interest to completely fill the top of this in with the black concrete or glass or grey or birch or whatever you might want to fill it in with. Black concrete will suit me just fine. If you do want to though, you could add in a couple of skylights to the top of your build, as you wouldn't see them from the actual outside of the build. Like, you wouldn't be able to see them from like the road outside of your house because of course it does dip under. That's a thought for you. It's completely up to you. A skylight is basically just like an area of glass that lets in some light, so you could just have a random patch somewhere. But we want to have something which should look so far like that, looking pretty good. Now, what are we going to do next? So, we're going to fill the bottom left-hand side of the house in using black concrete. This is going to be filled in exclusively with black concrete, this left bit. It's going to join the bottom to the second floor, like this. Because we don't want any windows. We don't want windows absolutely everywhere. We're going to be careful where we put them. We want to raise up everywhere else around the house. We want to raise up like the light grey concretes to hit the actual second floor. We want to do this almost everywhere. This is where the entrance is, by the way, so we only want to add an additional light grey on top of these. We want to raise up all of the black surrounding these areas, so wherever you have black, you want to raise up all of these areas, and then we'll raise up all of the glass as well. So we want to get all of the black added in here. On the right hand side, we're going to completely fill in this empty space. This is going to be filled in with... What am I doing? This is going to be filled in with black concrete. You could alternatively use a different material, or you could add more windows or whatever. The back's completely filled in, which means that we have to raise up all of the glass. So we're going to raise up absolutely all of the glass. Oh no, I'm so bad at this. We're going to raise up all the glass like this, and next to the entrance. And even more importantly, above the entrance as well, like that. We've got some more glass to add in these parts like this. And we're almost done with the house portion of this. So we want to have something which should so far look like that, which is looking good. The entrance of the house can be made fancier by placing birchwood fence in front of the light grey parts. And then a row of birchwood slabs, half a row above the top of the fence, like this. It creates kind of like a fancier entrance, and it's also very obvious where the entrance is then, because it's the only part which includes wood, where the glass is. It's up to you. We're also going to place white stained glass pane going almost all the way around the top of the second floor of the house. We're leaving ourselves a 2-block gap in this position, because we're going to be placing birchwood slabs coming out of the second floor to allow us to access the second floor. So these two spaces are going to be left open, and we're going to place glass pane going all the way around the top where we have the black concrete, and this is going to forge the second floor. Just like this. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Looking very nice like that. Speaking of the actual steps that lead down onto the ground, so this can be placed anywhere, but I do like it on this left-hand side here. If you just place yourself some birchwood slabs, and we want to create kind of like a step like this. So we're going to have just half a row down from the previous level of birchwood slab, just half a row down. We're going to create a very gradual set of steps that comes down to the ground. So like this. This is how we're going to access the second floor, like that. And what we're actually going to do as well, this is kind of cool, or at least I like this, is we're going to create a little bit of a decking area in front of where we would connect to the ground. We're going to place like a bit of a decking area here. Maybe about as big as this. It will come as far as like that window there and here, and then we'll extend it forwards just to be about 4 blocks or so wide, maybe like that, or maybe we'll even connect it to there. So how about we place a little decking area that is about that wide. It actually connects to the stairs. It makes it a little bit easier to get to, and I don't know, it's just a nice feature of the house. I'm going to be making the garden a little bit faster because you guys, I'm sure, might have your own plans for the garden, but we're creating a little bit of a decking area which does connect up to the second floor like that. And it is, well, you guys can see how wide it is. It comes to this window here, and it just pops out to the left by 1, and it comes out as wide as the front of the house, like that. A little touch that I forgot is on the second floor, we're going to place a little bit of white stained glass pane just above where we would exit onto the actual balcony. We're also going to add some seats up here on the second floor. So these can be as big or as small as you want, but I'm going to be placing some dark grey seats. They're basically like U-shapes like this that have quartz stairs inside of them. And I'm also going to place a little bit of a table like this, a strip of birch wood slabs in front of them, and I'm going to create, or maybe I'll actually just have like 2 blocks thick like that, and I'm just going to have 2 grey concrete seats that are as wide as the table, that have some quartz stairs in between them, and that is a nice little seating area like that just out onto the balcony. So you can see that this house is already shaping together nicely, but there are more details that we might want to add. For instance, on the front right hand side of the house, you might want to add some bushes. So if you start on the front bottom right hand corner, you leave a gap and you place yourself a birch fence. Leave a gap, place a fence. Leave a gap, place a fence, leave a gap, place a fence. Place 2 leaves on top of those and you have some nice modern looking bushes which contrast extremely well against the black. We also have a pool that we can add. So if we add as a matter of fact, we'll add a pathway first. So this is the entrance to the house, right? We have this door. If we want to place a row of stone slabs in front of the house that comes all the way out in front to the right hand side, so we create like a nice bend shape, like an L shape like this, and then if we add another row to the outside of this, so we create a nice thick L shape like this, and we place some stone slabs, then that kind of shows you where you're going to want to go to the outside of the house, like where you're going to want to go to where the street might be, or maybe it leads you to another part of the garden, something like that. Just have a nice path, and it's also a different material, like stone slabs is quite nice, and it goes very well with the modern theme. And we're also going to take the corner of the path here, we're going to extend it towards us by 2 rows. That's going to be 1, 2, like this. 1, 2. And we're going to place a row of quartz slabs going right of the second row. And this row of quartz slabs wants to be even with the path. And then we're going to make it, how many blocks fit? We'll extend it towards us by, say, like 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we'll extend it all the way over to the left, like this. So it is now where we started, and we're going to extend it a little bit further. We're going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4 to make it even with where we have the decking. And then we'll extend it coming this way, connect it to the right like this. And that is a nice place to put a pool. And speaking of the pool, this is how we're going to make it. So obviously, we have to dig out the pool. We have to dig out a row. I've actually not used this material anywhere else. I've not used it. I've not been really tempted to use it anywhere else, despite the fact that I'm sure that it does have its uses in other places. But I want to use the orange glazed terracotta to make a cool patterned pool. So, like underneath the quartz slab blocks, for instance, I'm going to place glazed terracotta like this, all underneath the quartz. Gonna place the glazed terracotta. They kind of look like butterflies, or they reminded me of Nemo a little bit. You don't have to use the orange glazed terracotta. You can use any of them, whatever your favorite might be, and you can place them in patterns if you're better with it than I am. But this is literally the first time I'm using it in any way, shape, or form. Really, this is my first time using it, and I'm going to also dig 1 level deeper into the pool, and I'm going to make the base of the pool out of glazed terracotta, because I do think that it does look quite nice down there as the base of the pool, and because it is patterned, it catches your attention more so than some other materials that you might use wood. So it really does look quite nice like this. I mean, if you just do it in rows, I mean, it's completely up to you. If you think that you can make some patterns out of it, I mean, literally, I've never used it. So you could maybe create some patterns. Like, does that work? How, or do I have to place it this way? Which way do I, oh, hang on, I'm doing it, guys, I'm doing it. Oh, I did it. Is that it? Ah, cool. So you could, no, it's not. No, it's not, hang on. Wait, that way? Yeah, so you see, you could make some patterns out of it if you wanted to. You could add some cool patterns. You could have like circles like that, which is pretty cool. Or if you just like me and you're just a little bit basic, then you could just completely fill it in just like that. And I'm just going to fill this in with water, and I'm also going to light up the pool as well. I want it to be nice and well lit so that people can see our lovely creation. And oh, there we go. Yep, nice. And at night I want to be able to just see it, so I'm just going to take the middle of the pool and I'm just going to destroy every other block, or so hopefully this works out. I'm just going to place some sea lanterns in there like that, just because it looks quite nice, and once again it lights things up a bit so you can see things a little bit better. What else do I want to do? Well, I want to, just left of the pool, I kind of want to create an area for people to chill. So I want to dig out like, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by a, maybe like a 7 by 7. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to dig out like a 7 by 7 area just next to the pool like this. And I want to just have like I said, like a chilling out area, maybe like a seating area. If you place, I kind of want to place like parasols and stuff. Maybe like an area for people to relax and calm down, and to like, I don't know how best to say it. Maybe like an area for people to kind of just sunbathe next to the pool. But in doing that, it kind of takes away from the house a little bit. But if you wanted to, you could absolutely place like maybe some deck chairs like this, maybe some like quartz stairs like this. And a cool way to actually create some like a nice cool parasol is, let me show you. So like if you place 2 end rods on top of each other, and then if you place quartz slabs going all the way around the top of the second end rod like this. I really like this design. And then if you place like any bed of your choice going around the top of this, and then if you place like whatever bed you choose the same color concrete, and then place like a button on top, that makes a really awesome looking parasol, and that actually fits a little bit better with the pool theme. And if you wanted to, you could even have like a little bit of perhaps like a bar area or something like back here, like I don't know, maybe you could find like, maybe you could just have like some stone brick stairs like coming in from each other like this. And maybe you could have maybe like a couple of cups on here, maybe like a flower pot. Maybe you could have like a brewing stand like this, have something in between. Maybe have like a little bit of a barbecue area, maybe like a couple of furnaces, something like that. Might actually kind of look cool and a little bit more practical. And maybe even you want like a little bit of a table out here, so maybe you want like a stone slab or something just in between the 2 seats. Something like that would be kind of cool. Or you could simply replicate the seating area that we have on the balcony. That's an absolute solid option. We're going to create a little bit of a wall now. So we're going to grab the block of quartz and we're going to come to the left hand side of the house. Choose somewhere on the left hand side of the house and place a row of block of quartz coming outwards from the side of the house. So just place a row of like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 block of quartz coming out from the side of the house, and then extend that quartz coming forwards towards the front of where we've been building, and maybe have it come out about as far as the pool. And then add a couple of rows of block of quartz on top of the wall. So add a row of block of quartz on top of that first row like this, and then add another layer of block of quartz that kind of like halves the wall a little bit. So you see that we've kind of got 2 different levels. We've got a big wall and we've got like a little bit of a small wall like that. It's looking pretty good like this, and it doesn't take too much to actually fill in these areas. Like, we can create a little bit of a flower bed here on the left, like where we have this big chunk of wall where we have nothing else. We can create a little bit of a flower bed area, so we can use some wooden trapdoors for this. We can use our birch wood fence. We can place like fence here in the corners. We can place wooden trapdoors everywhere else, and we can just bone meal the top of this and it will look fine. I mean, it might look better with flowers, but it's up to you. Like, you can just bone meal that and it will look fine, and just clean up whatever's left. That looks all right. We can use some oak leaves to create a little bit of a bush area around here, like where we have this seating area. We can create some torches around the garden. These can very easily be used. It's just very simply like a... Where else can I place one of these? Okay, maybe that's the only place that I want to put one. Maybe here as well. Just a simple birchwood fence with like a torch on top is fine. I like them. Nice little tiki torch, adds a little bit of light to the garden. I only like having one, it turns out. The other one was kind of, I don't know, it was redundant. We can have some more oak leaves across this back wall. We could have some more seats, whether these be regular like sort of like sunbeds or whether we want to make something a little bit different. We could have a couple of seats like that. That looks fine. Potted plants are always a plus. So if you grab yourself some flower pots, and if you grab yourself some tulips, or you know whatever flower you want, really, like we can place some along the decking like this, maybe in like a little bit of a corner like that. We can place some flower pots and stuff like around here, like on the floor. It doesn't look too bad like that. Like you can even, I don't know, flower pots are amongst some of my favorite decoration. They really are. I really like them. They add so much color to the place. I'm a big fan of it. And you can see like it doesn't take too much to end up with a really nice looking area. And what really does set the place off is if you grab green terracotta and lime terracotta, and if you dig out all of the grass. So we're going to work against ourselves a little bit here, because some of these blocks will disintegrate if we destroy what's under them. Like I think the flower pots won't stand still, but I think everything else might be fine. Like underneath here, yeah, anything, anywhere you place a flower pot will not stand. But if you create... if you just knock out all of the grass, and if you place instead rows of lime terracotta and green terracotta, then it'll look really good. Like it'll look really nice. So I'll show you the method of doing it, and then we'll probably cut this off, because it is kind of like it's a bit irritating to do. But basically what you want to do is you want to place like a green terracotta to lime, green to lime, green to lime, and you want to extend it coming across the garden lengthways. Now the reason that you do it lengthways is because it then flows with the garden a lot better. So you can see you want to go all the way from one side all the way to the other. Now I'm not going to show you all of that because it will be a bit of a lengthy process, and we've pretty much completed the house at this point. But you know what? Actually, I will complete it, because there's not too much left of that to do. But we have pretty much completed the house at this point. Like this is like a nice garden that really does fit well with what I feel to be like the feel of the house. I think that it does work very nicely with it. I think that it looks really nice. It's very modern feeling. It's got a nice garden, so it does work very well. Like I don't know, like it's a small, easy, modern house that shouldn't take too much of your time, but if you do want to invest more time into it, then you'll only be rewarded for it, because there's plenty of space to work with, and it's a nice design to set off from. So if you do want to add little bits to it, it really is easy, because it is a big giant rectangular shape. It's not hard to add bits and make it look good. As with some of the other modern houses, really everything's so kind of like put together so well that you really can't mess with it without things looking weird, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna, I don't know why, I think it's just OCD that's making me finish this. I'm not gonna do it underneath the decking though, because that's actually kind of irritating to do. But I think that we'll be pretty much done after this. So you see, if you add in all of the stripes to the garden, then you have it's a much nicer put together area. I really like it. And if you want the lines of the house to really stand out, you'll place black concrete underneath the window. So for instance, now we just kind of have grass like this. But if you want the lines of the house to really stand out apart from the grass, then place yourself some black terracotta underneath the glass instead, and it will really separate the place, and it will look really nice. Or at least I think so anyway. So it'll just look like that, and you can see that there really is nice distinction. But guys, that's pretty much the house. There are little bits and pieces that you could add on top of this, but well, I mean, it's kind of up to you what you do and do not want to add to this house. We've been at this for a little while. I'm sure that you guys have your own individual plans. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you've liked it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like. I hope that you enjoy the design. If you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you do enjoy the content and what you'd like to see next. Would you like to see some more modern related houses? Because I'm enjoying making them at the moment. So maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you do want to see more content by me, and we do have a lot of stuff around there in the background, check out the card system, description below. There's a lot of playlists for you guys to check out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.